Hello there, welcome to Target Radio Podcasts. Yes, we have a podcast for your ears. Every week here on the show, on our live shows that is, we try and get an interesting persons, artists, band members, music, poets, film playwrights. We even get, we'll try and get everyone. We'll try and get everyone that's interested in our genre of music that we portray here on Target Radio. So what we do is sit them down, we have a telephone interview, sometimes a live interview, and we discuss all things in their profession. So stay tuned here. This one is an absolute blast. You're going to love this, and I'll be back at the end to obviously, tell you what's coming up in the very near future. So I am the Podfather. I will now tell you that this is Target Radio Podcasts. Don't forget to check us out on iTunes, and if you think we deserve it, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating. That would be rather nice. Thank you very much indeed. So over to me, Cookie, and obviously to Andy Top Walker as well. And sit tight, and enjoy. This is Target Radio.
Dear God in heaven, please let this show go okay, with no major boobs or goofs, or is it goofs? Please don't let me tread all over the intros of records, or say a naughty word.
I listen to Sean Cook.
Oh, Sean Cook.
We'd like to say that, in our opinion, it is not suitable for children or for those of you who may have a nervous disposition.
Oh, Sean Cook.
And a very good evening. The 19th of May, 2020, still in lockdown of sorts. Has it got to you yet? I mean, I'm out as a key work and it's getting to me. And it's lovely weather. Apparently now we are allowed to go to parks and things and sunbathe and stuff. The wife went out today and she's come back feeling all horrible and groggy. She's moaning she's had too much sun. I mean, what's that all about? Anyway, she took the kids out and I think the kids have had a great time. Talking of kids, here she is. Little Cookie, missing from action yesterday, but back to it with us today. Hello, Ruby Roo, how are you?
Hello.
Hello. You're very quiet this evening. Why are you quiet?
I don't know.
You don't know. You're not talking very loud. That's why. Anyway, you're here to do the birthdays very shortly because we're going to hit the birthdays up very quickly this evening because we've got not one, not two, not three, not four, probably about 6-7 guests this evening. All of our guests are presenters here on the station, Ruby. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've also got a new presenter.
What, two new presenters, actually, or 3 if you like. Wow. So looking forward to catching up with some of the newer and not so newer presenters here at Target Radio. They're going to be telling you, that's it, they're telling you why you should tune in to theirs and other people's radio shows. I'm looking forward to it. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this, Ruby. Okay, so,
Yeah.
I mean, what could go wrong?
I have no idea.
No. Stay tuned for that. Okay, on the show this evening, we are going to try and squeeze in some music as well. We got something from the Yardbirds, Slim Harpo, the Easy Beats, the Hollies, some unsigned talent as well, and of course something from The Who. Okay, I'm hoping now on the line right now we should have Dielle. Hannah, hello. Is it Dielle or Dielle?
It's Dielle.
Dielle,
Hi,
hello.
How are you?
I'm good. 1 second, because everyone I get on here is through sheer chance and luck. We need one of these. And I can be honest now. They're all social distancing themselves. Okay, they're all 2 meters apart. They've all got rulers in their hands.
Yep.
Apart from them two at the back. Wait, you. Right, that's it, they're gone. Right, okay, and we're going to play this in the background as well. So, Dielle, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. Do you know, I got an email the other day, not from you, but about you. Do you know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, which leads us into our first sort of question, I suppose, but I'm going to attack it from a different source. Now, the email I got is from one of the many, many, many promoters that I speak to in regards to unsigned new music and talent, and you came up on it with one of your musical record thingy-bings, and yeah, I downloaded it, and it's absolutely fantastic and fabulous, so we'll be playing that on, I think it's actually on our selection now, on the new wave, on the new music selection that we play here on Target Radio. So well done,
thank
you.
you. That's fantastic.
No worries.
That's
Now,
good news.
not only are you a humble radio presenter, tell everyone else, what do you do?
Well, I'm a musician, so I'm a singer-songwriter, first and foremost.
Yep.
But I work full-time in music, so that's been really weird lately.
Well, must be, yeah, because obviously you're not going out and gigging and stuff, are you, really?
No, so we've done so I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm currently performing in a trio with the two lads, John and Chris, who are both featured on the new single.
Yep.
So that's our thing. We do sort of art centres and small theatres, festivals, that kind of thing. We've got a sort of Eagles sort of vibe.
Yes, you have, yeah.
Yeah, and we do this. Thank you. And we do. They're both. I mean, I don't think I'm very funny, but they are both very funny. And
Oh, they love you as well. They said to me that.
The live show is really inclusive, and it's much more like a party. We're sort of like a house party sort of vibe at our gigs, where we keep it really informal, and there's loads of joining in and telling stories and all of that kind of thing.
Aww.
So we've done, but so Chris and I luckily are married, so we're isolating together.
Well, it'd be rude not to, really, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
Wouldn't it? It'd be very rude for me to just go and isolate with John. So we're really missing John at the moment. But so we're using that time. We're using that time to record.
Yes.
Remotely. But Chris and I are doing a live gig on my band page on a Friday night. On Facebook, so we've been doing that since lockdown began.
Yeah, there's a lot of people actually doing that now, live feeds and streams onto Facebook and other platforms as well. And I came across one of yours, and it was quite hilarious actually. And not meaning to sound, I think you know where I'm going to go with this. I watched one.
Is
I
this
think
the one where I was crawling around.
No, you were sitting down, and then a gentleman came out, which I believe was Chris, your husband, and someone mentioned that they couldn't hear you very clearly. So he went over to which I would assume would be a mobile phone, which we were, using to record the actual event.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm not quite sure why you can't hear me. And I could hear him clear because he was speaking right over the telephone, obviously the mobile phone. And as soon as you walk away, obviously your voice is, going to be distant. And I thought to myself,
it's been so funny.
I suppose it's trial and error, though, isn't
bizarre.
it? It is trial and error. Obviously, you need a microphone quite close to you, especially when you're singing.
Yeah, it's sort of it all kind of depends, like where you are. And,
yeah, of course.
And what kind of sort of services you have around you, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
We did. So I'm one of my many interests is conservation, and one of our singles that we're working on at the moment is about the natural world and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And in honour of that, we so there's, I don't know if you're aware, you possibly are, but there's have you ever heard of Earth Hour? Where
Yes, I have.
you're supposed to turn all the lights off. Yeah.
Yes.
So we were doing this candlelight, and that's 28th of March.
Yeah.
So we had this candlelight gig, and it was I was really excited about it. We had because we're always looking to sort of ways of giving people an experience when they come to our shows, and sort of giving them something really memorable to take away with them. So we planned to do this thing where the whole thing was completely acoustic, by candlelight.
Oh, that's nice, though. I must give it a nice look,
a local, really, really simple venue. It's called the Yoga Shed, where they do a lot of yoga and meditation, that kind of thing.
I think they're doing lots of things in sheds at the moment as well, but the Yoga Shed, love that.
Yeah,
hey!
Absolutely. And so we had all of this, and it was sort of like a week after. So that was 28th of March, and then we go into lockdowns around about 17th, something like that.
Yeah.
So like about 10 days after everything was shut down. And so Chris and I went and did it so we had like contactless entrance and the entry and all that.
Of course, yeah.
And we did the whole thing by Zoom. So we did this sort of candlelight gig with everyone else, everyone who'd bought tickets.
Yeah.
Accessing, sort of watching by Zoom, and that was that was really weird. That was because we went out. It was a lovely event. Like the evening was lovely, and I was really pleased that people still wanted to take part and all of that.
Yeah.
Because I think people are like coming round to it now, aren't they? But
I think so. Yeah, it's taken a while.
Yeah. Like everyone's learned how to use Zoom now. I think everyone in the
Well,
world.
do you know something now, which I really wish I knew about this lockdown, because I would have put all my pennies into Zoom last year. I would have invested into Zoom, because who knew? It's a multi-million-pound company now, but it wasn't at the time.
yeah. It's like they're the official sponsor, aren't they?
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
yeah,
I've got it. I've got it. My daughter's got it. My daughter actually told me how to use it. Am I getting old?
Yeah. Well, I think we were quite lucky. Sorry, I'm just rambling now.
No,
we were quite lucky because of the work that Chris and John and I do. A lot of our work is international anyway, so we are used to using Skype and video conferencing.
Well, look at you.
I already had Zoom and all that sort of thing. We've been doing it for years, and I interview people from my podcast via Skype, and and all of that sort of thing. So we've been working with artists in Canada, and for years.
Yeah.
And so I was really grateful for that experience when it came to because one of the other things I do is run 2 choirs. And so I'm a director for 2 choirs, and trying to teach all of them.
Well, I'm going to ask you one simple question: do you ever sleep? For goodness' sake!
No.
Now, obviously, doing all of that, your podcast, and I know you do, obviously, other radio shows and stations don't exist, obviously, even though they do. Don't mention it. I know you do another radio show elsewhere, sort of a local one near to where you live. But now you've chosen neatly into this now. Nice little segue. Neatly into you've actually now joined Target Radio. Hang on. Yes. There we go. That's enough. Right, they've gone again. Which is really, really good. And you're going to present a half-hour weekly show on a Friday at 6:30. Am I right? Yes.
That's right, yeah.
I got it right. And just tell all our lovely listeners what your show's called, and just, a couple of lines of sentencing. What's it about?
So I'm absolutely thrilled to bits to
so are we.
Golden Greats.
Woo!
This is this is a 30-minute show about just featuring music from the golden era of pop. So Eagles, Beatles, Hollies, Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Carole King, all of the juicy stuff and all of the kind of stuff. So I fell in love with my dad's record collection when I was a teenager. And that was what got it all started for me. I listened to Tapestry when I was about 13.
Oh right.
And that is the reason for everything. That is, that is why I work. This is why I never sleep.
No, you don't. You don't need to. You don't need to.
And I work full time in music, which is really not an easy thing to do.
No, indeed.
And I fell in love with singing in harmony, and it was all of those groups, like like the Hollies, and where you've got lots and lots of but really honest songwriting and really, really good like organic music.
Absolutely. And what's really nice now is, because obviously we've got to wrap it up because we've got so many of our lovely presenters this evening. Obviously in a very short 2-hour show. How am I going to fit them all in? I don't know. Because obviously all the radio presenters, they like to chat. Me included. So what I thought I'd do.
Chat's been pinging all day.
I bet. Oh, it's lovely though. It's obviously the first time I've actually humanly, from social distancing sort of thing, spoken to yourself. Obviously we've done everything via text and messaging and things like that. I've already heard your show. It's absolutely brilliant, and you'll catch it straight away this coming Friday at 6:30 here on the station, just half an hour before I go live. So that's right, lovely. That is nice. And you've got, and I'm going to be honest with you now, I'm going to give them a little tease. I know the Small Faces are in it. Way! And now, because you've mentioned the Hollies so many times in our brief but really good conversation we've had had here. You mentioned the Hollies. I thought I'd play this one. But thank you. Dielle, Hannah, it's been brilliant. And May...
Thanks so much, Sean.
So lovely to have you on board as well. And we'll see you soon.
Pleasure.
Once we get to the other end of this lockdown business, we'll all meet up and we'll all stop and have a cup of tea.
Oh, that would be cracking.
And we can do it any time because you don't sleep, you see, so it's rather good. But for now, Dielle, so apologise. Dielle, Hannah! It's not my fault you've got two first names. Hang on, I'm just getting the social distancing boys back in. Here we are. Thank you very much indeed. We'll catch up with you soon. Take care and stay safe.
Cheers, Sean.
See ya. Bye. Bye. That was there were great. That was Dielle Hannah there, our brand new presenter here on Target Radio, and she is, as we said, stop it. She said that she's presenting a brand new show. She wasn't wrong. It is brand new because apart from her, I'm the only other person that's heard it, and it is absolutely brilliant. 6:30 this Friday. Live at the moment on Facebook Live until they probably kick us off. Just like to say hi to James Fielders and Steve K. Bartlett. Evening. They're just admiring my lockdown hairstyle. Honestly, what is it like? It's horrible. Of course, obviously, we need to get our hairdressers back open. But what we need to do now is try and call Mr. Whippy, as I like to call him. He's probably going to kill me when he finds out I'm calling him that. Of course, I'm talking about Mr. Power Pop himself, the ice cream man. Hopefully, we got Wayne Ford on the line. Hello.
Hello, Sean.
Oh, he's very loud. Hello, Wayne. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Is that better? I'm holding you at a distance now.
Oh, you can hold me anywhere you like.
Thanks very much.
All the way from Sweden. Hang on a minute. Hang on. We finally got there. I think. Hang on. Get the social distancing guys back. There they are.
Sweden far enough for you?
Yeah, they're 2 meters apart. Honestly, I measured them earlier. Right, here we go. So, Wayne, now I don't know how to even start to try and pronounce the middle name part there, so I'm going to leave you with that.
It's actually my surname. When I got married to my wife, I took on her name as well, so we became Lundqvist Ford. Lundqvist Ford. Brilliant. Nearly.
I'll call you Wayne.
Yeah, do that. That's it, yeah. I very often, when I go back to England, if we go into a restaurant or anything and we order a meal, I very often drop the Lundqvist bit because everyone just goes, what?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you spell it? Yeah, no, don't worry, just Ford.
Oh, that is fantastic. Oh, it's great to have that name, though, isn't it?
And until people ask you to spell it.
Well, you should learn. Okay, it's not.
Yeah, I will. I've had it for like 6 to 18 years now or something,
Wow.
so I should know how to spell it.
You should. Lundqvist. There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the QV bit. Everyone wants to put a U after the Q.
I think so. I think it's how you pronounce it as well, isn't it? Obviously, it must be very difficult for a non-sort of native tongue to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still finding it difficult now.
Indeed. How long have you lived out there then?
I've been out here for 15 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gone really quick. I was living in Brighton before I moved here. And it's just, the time has just flown by. It's really amazing how quick it's gone. I still miss Brighton a lot.
I was going to ask you that, actually. Do you miss England and Brighton, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I normally travel back about 3 or 4 times a year, and I go and see, if there's gigs that aren't coming to Sweden, I'll very often fly back. I know it's not very green or anything, but I'll fly back to see the gigs and hang out with friends and that.
Oh, that's good.
But obviously, I've not been back for nearly a year now because of what's going on. I didn't come back last winter because I was busy over here.
Yeah.
And now with things, it doesn't look like I'm going to be over this year, so I'm going to be away for over a year and a half.
Wow,
that's
18 months is a long time, however you dress it up, year and a half, 18 months, it's a long time, and nothing's really clear at the moment, obviously with the lockdown and obviously the COVID-19. We just really don't know when it's going to come to an end, or indeed when, if really. They are talking now if a lot of the other radio stations, because I know they exist but we don't mention them.
Are there others?
Apparently so. Yeah, there's a couple on there anyway.
Wow.
I think they're on the AM dial. But basically, what they're saying on many sort of we use TV, it's easier. What they're saying on telly now is obviously this social distancing is going to be with us at least 1 year. Okay, so the social distancing guys that I use for our many cheers that we use here, 2 metres apart, guys. You know what I mean? And that's going to continue for at least a year, I've been reliably told by a politician. So that just gives you the sort of reliably.
You found a reliable politician.
Yep, absolutely. He took a lie detector test and he didn't bleep once. But no, I mean, obviously it's come from a few different sources as well, so I can obviously quite easily say, well, that's going to be a thing. So, take it from that. Obviously, gigs are going to not happen unless, obviously, they're done as they're doing on Facebook at the moment. There's so many gigs on there, you don't know where to go.
Yeah. Actually, we had a really good thing. I don't know whether it was good or I didn't actually go, but there's a band who I'm friends with over here. They're called Division of Laura Lee, and they're quite a big band, alternative band. And they had a driving gig. We've got
fantastic.
The harbour really close by, and what they had is a big screen there.
Yeah.
And they put it out on FM radio.
Yep.
So you could sit in your car, you could watch this screen, and they were playing the gig somewhere else. So it was a driving gig, and I don't know how successful it was. Obviously, they had to keep. They say in Sweden, or people think that in Sweden we're not doing very much. A lot of people are working from home. Everywhere is really quiet.
Yes, of course.
People are keeping apart, but things are still open. But there are restrictions in place.
Yeah.
And I think with the driving gig, there was a limited amount of tickets you could buy. So I didn't get one. I probably could have gone along through a back door somewhere.
Yeah.
But and that was kind of a good idea. But I think for me, you very much lose the atmosphere of a gig.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Being at a gig is about standing over your mates, having a beer, listening to the band, talking about the band.
Yeah.
Not whilst the band are playing. I really don't like that.
No, of course not. No, I mean,
be
quiet, will you?
I'm trying to find a different way of doing things now. And I mean, if a driving gig is the way it's going to go for the next year, then these bands, they need money, they need to play, they need.
Of course,
that's their job. So we do whatever we can to try and find a way around it.
Well, absolutely. I mean, obviously, stranger to like the unsigned bands and stuff, because obviously that's what you promote on your radio show, which we'll get to in a second. And obviously, I talk to a lot of chaps here on Target Radio, unsigned artists and bands, and solo artists. And I'm not saying it's their bread and butter, because obviously they've probably got regular jobs. Do we say that word? Could we say that word? I don't know. But obviously, their passion is music, and you know yourself, you've interviewed and seen many bands that, you can see how passionate they are. But with the venues all took away from them, how can they perform? And how can they be performing in front of people? Well, the answer is they can't. And it's very sad.
To get creative with the driving gigs, or what else, other platform they can find. Like you were saying earlier about the Facebook gigs. I mean, it's great. Again, we don't have the atmosphere, but that's what we have to deal with.
Absolutely. At the moment, and is it going to be a sort of the normal now? For now, I hope not as well. But it is sort of a food for thought, I suppose. I mean, what do we really know about it? What are we really going to do about it? And the answer is we really don't know, because we're in the hands of somebody else. With governments and other bits and pieces. So really, we're just going what we've been told to do. It's very difficult, and it saddens me really, because even before the coronavirus, pubs were closing down here in the UK, one every day, or two every day, or three every day, whatever the statistic was. So, the bread and butter, from the pub side of things were, diminishing. And then where the pubs were open and people were going there, to perform at these places, half the people weren't coming out. Why? What's wrong with you? Yeah. So, they were an uphill struggle. That's why, obviously Target Radio was created to actually help these guys just get another platform. If it gets to one more person's pair of ears, it's one more person that they didn't have before.
Absolutely.
And I love that.
That's very much the same thing with the Ice Cream Man show. I mean, the reason I started doing what I did was because bands weren't getting the exposure on like the normal radio stations. Like you couldn't tell. When I was a kid growing up in the 70s, early 70s, late 70s, you could turn on the radio and you could hear just about every genre, and it was exciting to turn on the radio. And then come the 80s, 90s, it was starting to get patchy. And then in the noughties, or whatever you want to call them, it was awful.
Oh, it was.
It was so generic and just such a load of crap. I thought, I'm going to do something. So I did something.
You did.
And, hopefully, it kind of encompasses some of that stuff that I grew up listening to, but it also gives the bands a platform.
Absolutely, And
if they want.
And I love the way you mix it up as well. I mean, you've got an unsigned band next to the Jam or the Clash, you know, and I love the way you sort of like stick the, you know, there's no sort of running order with your shows. There's very much sort of like just, I'm not saying thrown together because obviously that would be really, really awful for me to say.
It's really unprofessional.
No, it's not. It's actually the opposite. It looks on paper that, oh my goodness me, it's just thrown it together. But the way it sort of pans out and, you know, you hear it, you think, oh my God, you've got the undertones next to an unknown band. And it is lovely to have, you know, an unknown sandwiched, you know, in between two well-known bands. And it's lovely to actually have that. And I know that for a fact. You know, I've heard artists before saying, oh, do you know, I'll take that, you know, my music, and then you compare me to, I don't know, the Boomtown Rats, for instance. And I think, oh, I didn't even think about that, really, you know, so...
In a way, I kind of do it on obviously, I love those bands. I love The Clash, The Undertones, Boomtown Rats, Teenage Fan Club, all of the classics from the 60s, Northern Soul, ska, two-tone.
And it's all in there. It's all in his show, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is, all in a nutshell.
It's all there.
But, you know, when I play the unsigned bands, I mean, to keep interest in people listening, you have to throw them a bone. You have to throw them something they're familiar with, something that they're going to enjoy. And then they'll hang on and keep listening to the unsigned bands. So, I mean, whilst I do love playing those bands, and I would play them anyway. I've done special shows where I've done just all 60s, all Northern Soul or whatever. But, you know, when I'm playing the unsigned bands, I want people to hear them. So if you give some people something familiar to listen to and then throw them something that they're not familiar with, but it's in the same vein,
of course,
then they'll find an interest in it. And obviously the bands love being played next to Teenage Fan Club or the Jam or Rolling Stones or whatever.
And it works.
So, I mean, it's great for them too.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, I'm not sure if you are familiar with a gentleman by the name of Mr. John Peel, but your show very much is, yes, there we are. It seems very, very close to that.
I've had that before as well. And actually, when I recorded my very first show, I had a toothache and I was drinking whiskey and holding whiskey on it to try and sort of like numb the pain. And when I listened back to it, it actually sounded like John Peel, that very sort of docile sort of voice he's got going. And you know, I was basically drunk.
Well, you're supposed to spit it out afterwards. You obviously done the opposite.
I got it wrong.
Well, it doesn't really matter, does it?
I enjoyed it.
Because it sounded very good. Mind you,
it's the undertones again.
It's the undertones again, yes. Where was we now? Oh, yeah. I noticed at the beginning of that show it was very quick and fast paced. By the end of it, it was very slow and lethargic. I've no idea why.
Asleep.
Yes, you know, and I do apologise for the terminology of this. You're supposed to spit and not swallow. Right, okay. So, moving swiftly on from that one. Yes, I've got a couple of thumbs up from that one. Hey, there we go. We're on Facebook Live at the moment, and yes, that is David Bowie, but it's only a picture of him on my shoulder there. It's my calendar I got for Christmas. Actually, I'm trying to get a refund on it because obviously this year's gone, isn't it, really? But apparently you can't get refunds on calendars. Okay, now your show, which has been going for some time, but obviously, you know, we hooked up, last year now, I think, at the beginning of last year.
I think it's a year.
It's just about a year now, which is really, it has gone quick and it's brilliant. Because obviously now, we, as in Target Radio, are the first of many of the syndicate radio stations, are there others, to host your show, and we're the first ones to proudly say we're the first to play it. Yes! Hang on. The social media guys are coming back in. Here they are. There, right, okay. But go. It's brilliant, honestly. I love your show. I listen to it every single week. I mean, obviously, I have to. But I don't do it as a chore. I do enjoy it, and I love the way you sort of put 3 or 4 or 5 songs in at the beginning, then you talk. You know, it's a different way of doing a radio show, but it works.
Nobody wants to listen to me, Sean. They want to hear the music.
Yeah, well, maybe they might want to hear a little bit of you, and I like that though. I do like that, and it's a good way of doing it, you know. And I thought to myself, it might cotton on. But then you introduced me to another young lady called Angie Dorin over in California. There, is it California? Yeah, I think it's southern part.
Somewhere on the west coast.
Yeah, it's over there somewhere. It's nice over there anyway. And she does exactly the same. So who sort of modelled whose show?
Let's say I copied her because I'm a gentleman.
But it works, and I'm thinking to myself, right, okay, I do sort of 2 songs talk, 1 song talk, 3 songs talk. That's the sort of way I do it. I suppose it's the way I was taught and the way I do it. But I keep thinking to myself, do you know something? I might do a show where I just introduce it all at the beginning and just let the music go. But then I think, hang on a minute, halfway through, they'll probably forget, and I'll have to rewind it again. Hang on.
Yeah, that's the only thing I sort of worry about. That sort of like the people might forget who I'm introducing. But hopefully I make enough fuss about the bands, the new unsigned bands that are really great, and people do take it in.
Perfect.
Hopefully, a lot of people come back and say they make sales and people get into them. So hopefully it's working.
Excellent, lovely. So to catch your show is on Saturday here on Target Radio at 7 o'clock, brand new, every single week. Okay, I get that right at the beginning of the week, and it gets all ready to go on Saturday evening. Okay, now just tell all of our lovely listeners out there in Target Radio land why they should listen to your show.
Because it's the dogs. Oh no, hang about. I can't say that, can I? Because it's got loads of great music, classic tracks. It's got it's the best unsigned bands from all around the world. I don't shy from playing bands that sing in Spanish, French, or whatever. I've got Mexican bands on there. It's all poppy, it's upbeat, it's happy, it's great.
It is.
Do tune in.
And absolutely, totally, 100% agree with that, because the way the show sort of like goes through, and obviously, I have to listen to the shows because obviously I make sure that everything works well in there. It flows lovely. I mean, the way you sort of put 2 pieces of music together, regardless if they're unsigned or signed, it works. So you do take some care and attention. You don't just sort of throw it together, as I previously, really said, which was very, very rude of me. It's not. It really does work, ladies and gentlemen. So, give Wayne's, the ice cream man, he serves up a really good whip of music. There we go. You can have that tagline for free. It's rubbish, actually. Okay, Wayne, it's been a pleasure. Okay, give my regards to the rest of the family over there. Is it getting dark over there now? Because you're an hour ahead of us, aren't you?
No, it's not actually. This time of year, we're I think we stay a lot lighter. I mean, it's absolutely blue skies and sunshine outside.
Same here at the moment, believe it or not, in sunny UK.
Yeah, and in the summer, midnight is about the time it starts getting dark. I've gone to concerts and clubs. I've gone into the club when it's bright outside, and I've gone out at 3 o'clock in the morning and walked home in the daylight.
That's amazing. That is. I suppose it's where you are situated on the globe as well. Where obviously, so you get less sort of, moonlight and lots more sunlight. So obviously everything's greener and greener.
Not in the winter, it's the absolute opposite. It gets light about 10 o'clock and gets dark about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, that's just bloody rubbish. What you moved there for goodness sake? Anyway, you take care, my friend, and we'll do this again because it's been an absolute pleasure. For now, though, thank you very much indeed to Wayne Ford. I'm not even going to pronounce his other part of his name because I just can't, and I'll really make myself look stupid, which isn't really difficult anyway. But I'm going to bring the social media guys back in here, and they are distancing themselves as we speak. Are you ready? They're ready. Thank you very much indeed. Wayne, there he is, Mr. Ice Cream Man himself. Thanks, buddy.
Cheers, Sean.
Take care. Bye-bye now.